Oh, I didn't set up the desk box. Hey everybody, this is Andrew Grapsis, Dungeon Master. If you've been following my channel, hopefully, maybe, please, you've seen that I have been live streaming a whole bunch of Dungeons and Dragons, and this is something I plan on doing more of in the future, and it's been an evolutionary process for me. If you look at the first one, we used Google Hangouts. It looked really crappy. The audio was kind of meh. The second one, incrementally better. And the third one, I think so far we may have nailed the formula for it. So I'd really like to, very quickly, show you my live streaming setup, and in future videos, go over all of the steps I did in order to create the live streaming experience that we currently have. And hopefully, as we make it even better, I will document that as well. Real quickly, here is where all the magic happens. It is nothing fancy. I'm gonna walk backwards. You can kind of see I have a very cluttered room with not much in it. There's really not much going on here. It is extremely tiny. Really tiny. Goes into the living room, which is super loud. You can probably hear dogs. You can see a small child. So what does that mean for me, having a living room right next to my office? No door on it. It means that there's a lot of ambient noise. So I had to be considerate of that when kind of designing the space and picking out tools, if you will. Right now I'm using a lapel microphone. That doesn't work for me when I'm recording for various reasons. Okay, if we look at what's going on with my computer, you can see that I have two microphones. Both are blues, and here you'll notice that there is a blue Baby Bottle SL. You can see it over here behind the pop filter. It's on an arm. And right now where it's mounted is actually, and where it's positioned, is not exactly where I normally would position it. Normally when I'm DMing, I have it right here. Hello. Around here is where I like to position the blue Baby Bottle SL. This allows me to have a very neutral posture while sitting and still be close to the microphone. So you can kind of see, maybe you can see. So if I'm sitting with a neutral posture, I'm about this far away from the pop filter, but usually I actually lean in a little bit, and the distance is only about the span of a hand. And that gets me nice and close to the microphone so that it has the best sound possible and captures my low end noticeably. You might ask, why, Andrew, are there two microphones? Why, Andrew, are there two microphones? Great question. So, in the shot, you can see I have the blue Baby Bottle SL and a blue Yeti, which is a USB microphone. The reason I have two microphones has to do with Linux and how my specific audio capture is set up, which I will go over in another video. For now, know that I have the Yeti, which is how my players hear me, and the blue, which is how I do audio capture for the live stream, for eventually YouTube. The blue goes into, here's my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, which is how I capture audio for the blue Baby Bottle. It is awesome. And yeah, there's a desktop down here. It's a custom build. Don't look under my desk. So getting back a little bit to the space, you can see it's pretty busy. I have a laptop, which is a Razer Blade Stealth, two large monitors, one set vertical, one set horizontal. There's a keyboard, which honestly I can't remember the brand of, but it's really nice. It's very quiet. It is backlit. It is really nice. I will put a link to it on Amazon in the YouTube video. But I want you to know that I spent a lot of time hemming and hawing over keyboards, mostly because I came from this. It's a Razer Black Widow, which I love, but at the end of the day, I wanted something way quieter. And as you can hear, hopefully you can hear, this is significantly quieter. It's also wireless, which is nice because I can push it back so I can have some DM notes here if I want, or in the case of where my microphone is set up, find a nice spot so that I can lean forward, lean in, and really get a good recording sound. It also came with this nice wireless mouse, which you can't even hear me click it. So that's great. Looking a little bit more at the space, over here I have a dice box I built, which I really need to retire. It's kind of falling apart. And I only play with dice from Die Hard Dice, dieharddice.com. They are amazing. They have excellent customer support. They are wonderful people. They literally are just the best dice company out there, and I love them. I love them so much that I have lots of dice. In fact, I love them so much that I have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of dice. I use these for DMing usually, and though not when I'm live streaming because they're super loud. This for when I'm playing. Sometimes this is my wife's, and this for when I'm playing as well. They all go in the dice box. I also have tons of random dice below my monitor because you never know when you're gonna need them. So if I have the two monitors, why do I need a laptop? The simple answer is that my laptop has all of my Dungeon Master notes on it. What I found out the first time I live streamed is that if I have my notes on the same computer, there is a high probability that my notes will end up being seen by my players on Twitch. So instead of using my main desktop, I use my laptop. It also means that I can look up anything else I need to look up as Dungeon Master on there without risk of it being streamed. What I like about the Razer Blade Stealth is that it's super quiet. So if I go over here, it's nice and quiet, so I don't have to worry about it being picked up by the mic. It also is backlit, which makes it easily visible when I am in a dark room recording. All my computers are running Linux, and usually when I'm recording, I kind of divide my screen space this way. On the right side, I will have conferencing software. I use Jitsi. We'll get into what that means another time, and I'll talk about kind of my custom blend of Jitsi. So over here I have Jitsi, and you can kind of see me being captured at the moment. And then on the left-hand side, I usually have some audio capture controls where I am creating connections between different audio sources and plugins and everything. And I have OBS open on the left-hand side, performing all of its captures. And you can see that just kind of with the default scene right now, you can't see. So on this left monitor, on the default scene, you can see it has me properly framed. That's kind of part of everything I've done to Jitsi to make it uniform when participants join, and it's easy to capture. I also usually have Roll20 open, and Roll20 allows me to have that virtual tabletop that my players can see. I usually try and screen share it on Jitsi on my conferencing software, opening another tab and screen sharing it on something where all the players are muted and my microphone's muted so that they can see it, but it's not part of what's getting captured in OBS as players. Instead, it gets captured separately as the play space. I don't usually use notebooks when I'm in this kind of environment and setup, because I don't want to have a light source to put on them, and I don't want to have to be flipping through them for references. Instead, I create a Google Doc that is all-encompassing, and contains all of my characters needed for that story, all my magic items, all of my baddies that are going to be happening, and all of the checks that I need players to perform throughout the course of the investigation, the mission, whatever is happening. Another time I'll go over how I structure those, because I think I've learned a little bit now doing it a couple of times, and I have some good ideas, maybe some bad ideas. We'll find out, and you can decide on your own if you want to steal anything from me or not. Oh, and another thing, you have to think about what you're going to wear on your head. And I'm not talking about hats, even though they're great. You have to think about your headphones. So over here I have Sennheiser HD280 Pros. Pros indicate that they're really meant for the studio, but hey, it doesn't matter. The reason I chose these is because I asked one of my good buddies who's an audiophile, and he said they're extremely neutral. So instead of them having a more pronounced bass or treble or anything like that, they have a fairly flat kind of built-in EQ, for a lack of better terminology. And that allows you to hear the mix better as you're mixing everybody's audio, so that you can get a more true sound, and it will be better experience for everybody who's watching your feed. And that's it. I don't keep reference books open either. Everything comes from D&D Beyond or Roll20. That way I have them easy to tab through on my laptop, not on my desktop. And it's pretty simple and straightforward. It took me a little bit to kind of decide on this setup, but it's working really, really, really well, I think. So I hope you learned something. I hope maybe you can integrate this into your own live streaming, or you just enjoyed a glimpse behind the veil. Either way, like, subscribe, please watch us on Twitch or on YouTube, and I hope you roll 20s for the rest of your life. And, oh, that just materialized. Cheers. Are silly outtakes a thing anymore? Here's the most important thing about being a dungeon master. It's having a copious amount of bourbon and whiskeys of all types. So there's some bourbon and there's some scotch, and you can see they're both very low. Please send scotch. I've been here so long without it. Too much? And right there, that dark thing is my beer fridge, fully stocked. Except I don't drink beer anymore because I've kind of gone pseudo-paleo, so it's actually full of cider. I think that was good, right? I don't know. Leave feedback. That's it.